What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about the pre-formed pockets from Hero Lacrosse. This one's stiffer. Let's go. Alright guys, so the company that makes these is Hero Lacrosse, and you've probably seen them on social media. You know, a lot of people have posted pictures of them, and there's probably a few reviews out there. What it is a pre-formed pocket, I think made out of silicone, or something like that. I don't know, it feels like silicone. And it's designed for new players who maybe don't have access to properly strung sticks or a stringer, don't know how to string. And they spent a lot of time designing, you know, the shape of the pocket, depth of the pocket, location of the pocket, and channel of the pocket in order to help a player develop proper shooting and throwing form. And that's huge because, you know, having coached at all levels, you know, even all the way back to the little guys, you see a lot of kids come out with brand new sticks that are just strung terribly, and they've got to adjust their throw, you know, to the stick. Too much whip, not enough whip, not enough depth, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with the pocket. So a kid who is given one of these, you know, he's going to develop just a natural stroke because it lends itself to that. You know, when I'm throwing with it on the bounce back, you know, it's a nice follow through. You know, you don't have to worry about it too much. It's just kind of the way your body wants to do it, it can do it, which is great. This is the Phenix M1 model. This is the one that's for sale on their website, and I believe it is $45. This one, the orange one, is a prototype, and it's a little bit different. It's got the holes up here, which you can see, and they are manually done. So the people, or the guy, I don't know if it's a group of people or one guy, I'm not really sure, but he you know, working out the hole pattern and this and that, he did it manually, I think with a Dremel. I remember seeing a post about that, and I like this one. This one I actually like better. The hole pattern, you know, if you're talking about brand new players, you know, wind resistance on shots, it's probably not going to be an issue. You know, a youth player isn't going to shoot hard enough to get noticeable resistance here. But if it's an older player, you know, they may, because they're stronger. This one has shooting ridges. It's like something to simulate shooting strings, and you can kind of feel it through there. You know, I'm sure yeah, you can definitely feel. I'm not sure what it does. Like, I would have to, this one doesn't have the shooting ridges, but it's also got the holes. I didn't really feel a difference on the release on either of them, but I do like this one better because of the pliability of the material. This one is a little stiffer, and just the nature of this preformed pocket and other preformed pockets is you get a lot of ball rattle. You know, when you're cradling, little corrective cradles to set up your shot or whatever, the ball's going to bounce around in there quite a bit, and it does so less with this prototype than it does with this one, but it's not the end of the world. You know, that ball rattle. Greg Rose, who is a local guy, he's a coach, he's a really good stringer. You know, traditional stringing is his thing. He makes a good call. I was coaching a tournament with him, or I think I was coaching a different team, but I was watching his game. My kid was on his team, and this kid's just, you know, dodging through traffic, stick checks everywhere, ball's not coming out, and he's like, look how far stick technology's come. Wow, look at that stick technology. Basically what he's saying is that, and I agree, kids shouldn't have that crazy hold at the youth levels. You know, we got to develop kids who understand how to protect their stick, how to cradle in such a way to maintain that momentum, that inertia, to keep the stick in play, or the ball in place, how to protect stick. You know, most importantly, you don't want a kid who can dodge through everyone and have his stick checked 10 times and the ball not come out because of his stick. If he can run through traffic and just protect, you know, and just nobody's touching his stick, awesome. But you know, if it's the stick technology that's doing the work, no bueno. So something like this that has ball rattle, and this is going to force a kid to learn the right things. Stick protection. Don't dodge through, you know, a double. If you dodge and you draw, help comes, move the ball. Because it with ball rattle, with, you know, a formed pocket, stick checks are going to lose the ball. So I think with not only teaching a kid how to, you know, the proper throwing form, but teaching him the value of protecting his stick, that's huge. They say on the website, or on, you know, in the materials, that it takes about 10 minutes to install. I did it, and this morning on this one I had strung up a while ago. I think it took about 10 minutes, but this one took me about 5. And I'm going to play the video here of me stringing it just in real time so you can kind of see. It's not hard. This one I did like top string, like hitches, and then interlocks down the side, which you don't have to do. Right? It looks kind of nice, but it's unnecessary, because the nature of this material, it kind of holds the strings in place, and it's not going anywhere. So this one, I just looped it. Very simple loops, you know, nothing fancy. Loop down the side, and then no bottom string. This is actually just side strings. Just very simple, but it's effective. Took me, I think, 5 minutes. You'll see in the video. You know, hopefully I'll do start time, stop time, so we can know for sure. But I think it was 5 minutes. But I like this idea. Now, you may remember the Phenix pocket that I reviewed. That was a prototype as well, and it's slightly different in that it's got like bungees and hooks that you do the top string with, and then you tie off the bottom. You don't do anything on the sides, which makes it install faster, but it was a little finicky with the different type of heads, and I don't think it's to market yet. I think they're still working on it. Like, you'll notice this is an optic, which is a little bit shorter than this Boomba compressor, and so, you know, there's not much of a gap. Fits in there very nicely. A longer head, you know, there'll be a bigger gap at the bottom, but you know, that's not a problem ever. So here's the compressor, slightly bigger gap down here, but even if that was up an inch, it wouldn't matter. You know, it's not going to affect it. You've got a mid pocket, no matter what kind of head you put it in. And so I wouldn't play with this. I like a lot of hold, and this doesn't have a lot of hold because it's just the nature of a preformed pocket. But like I said before, that's not really what it's about. It's about training new players to have correct form, to do the things that are hard to teach a kid. You know, form in passing and shooting is you can show them till you're red in the face, but they may not get it. But if you can give them a tool that their body will just naturally do what's comfortable, and honestly, you know, a follow through is comfortable. Stopping here, that doesn't feel right. You know, so something like this is huge. And that was the goal of the Phantom pocket as well. Same idea. You know, correct the form, or start with good form, and eventually you'll probably move into a strong pocket. But one of the things, as a former youth coach, at all levels, you know, from like 5, 6, all the way to U15 or U14, whatever the age groups are now. At the lower levels, you know, you'd get kids that first day of practice with just the worst strung sticks you could imagine. But if a kid shows up to a game and, you know, maybe enterprising young kid that he is, he tried to string his own stick and it's just a mess. If you've got one of these in your coach's bag, you can say, dude, I love that you tried to string your stick, but I'm not sure you'll be able to play with that today because it needs a little work. Let me just throw this in your pocket for you real quick. Boom. 5 minutes later, you've got this ready for him. Another thing that's real common with youth players is torn up top strings, because they carry their stick everywhere with them, and they're picking up ground balls and rocks on blacktop and asphalt and sidewalks, and it just tears up top strings. So if you are out and about, tournament, game, whatever, and a kid's like, "Coach," and his mesh is hanging down here, and it's just like, "I don't have strings, I can't fix that." Well, I guess you would have strings if you could put this in. But anyway, the point is that if I were coaching at those lower levels, I would keep one of these in my coach's bag, without question, because I could see coming up with a need to use it almost weekly. I don't know who was first with this. Hero Lacrosse or Phantom. I don't really care. That's on them to race each other and get to market and do it better than each other, because it's while the products are different, they're also very similar. But I do like this one. I went out and shot with it. It's nice on the bounce back. My form is probably a little janky just because I'm old and set in my ways. So throwing on the bounce back felt fine. Shooting with it was difficult for me because I like a lot more whip in my stick. So because our goal backs up to our fence and our neighbors are psycho on the other side, I didn't want to launch any balls. So I couldn't shoot hard. So if I put video up of me shooting, it's like, it looks like that old video where I had a dislocated rib and I could only kind of. So I felt like if I was going to shoot 100%, I would have sailed it because it has less whip than I'm used to. But if I'm teaching a kid to shoot, I don't want to teach him how to shoot with a whippy pocket. No way. I want him to learn how to shoot with a pocket like this, either traditional, mesh, or this. But a low whip, consistent pocket. And these things, that's the main thing about these. Mesh or traditional will never be as consistent as something like this. This will not replace stringing. That's the last thing on their agenda. It's just to help kids, newbies, get a good string, a well-strung stick that they can step on the field and play with, and help grow their game in terms of mechanics. And it does that. So, if you are the parent of a young child and you want to get them into the game, or you notice that they're developing some bad habits by watching older brother, and you're afraid that their fundamental mechanics of their shot aren't quite there, something like this can reset that and get it to where it should be. Brand new players, coach's bag, there's uses for this, and I think it's a great idea. I like that they're still improving upon it. I don't know what else they could do, but I'm sure they're working on it. These are $45, or this one's $45. This one's not available yet. I actually have to send it back to the guy as soon as I wrap up this video. But they're cool. Go check them out at herolacrosse.com. And innovation, helping players at all levels. I think that's huge. Good stuff. Very cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.